Okay, so it's come to my attention that there has been an epidemic that is sweeping the nation at a very rapid pace. And that epidemic is drunk pilots. So basically, I was compelled to make this video because I had a very, very scary situation happen to me on a flight a few months ago. And actually, I was on Twitter and I saw one of my friends retweet a tweet that was talking about a Delta flight that had basically got canceled because the passengers were scared that the pilot was drunk. And then they found out after he did a breathalyzer test that he actually was drunk and they made the right call. So I retweeted that tweet instantly and I was like, bitch, this happened to me like not long ago. And I thought at the time that it was this like unique experience that I had. It just never occurred to me that a pilot would actually fly drunk, but then I guess at the same time, it's like, wouldn't occur to you that a person would drive drunk, but it happens all the time. And I know planes with technology nowadays basically fly themselves, but at the same time, it's like, girl. So today I was watching the news. Well, I wasn't really watching it. I was just like doing whatever, but it was on. And there was another case of a pilot under the influence. So I was like, this is literally like God telling me to make this video and share my story, because when you're going on an airplane, you shouldn't have to go and like check and see what's going on with the pilot, if the door is open or whatever, get the vibe. You should be able to just go on and enjoy your flight, because half the time flights are hideous anyways. There's like so many people and bags and all this bullshit, so you just kind of want to get in and get out. But I'm telling you, when you board the plane, just kind of do a little zhuzh to see, because from now on, that's literally what I do. You never know what's going on in that cockpit, honey. So this all happened back in April. I was traveling with my wife, who wasn't my wife then, she was still my fiance, and my best friend Hillary. We were traveling on my book tour from New York back to LA, and it just so happened that the next morning I had a shoot at 6 a.m. So we were all over it. We were like, let's just get this done, let's get on this flight, get home, sleep, and then, you know, wake up for the day. So we're walking on the plane and there's stewardesses everywhere. 3 of them are girls and 1 of them is a guy. And then the pilot is standing there and he's kind of like walking around, like just like back and forth, like head down. He was like this older guy, like salt and pepper hair, like pilot outfit, obviously. We walk on, we say hi. One of the girls actually recognized who I was, so we did a little hug. And then me and Nats went to our seats, which were on the right there. And then Hillary walks back because her seats are like 3 behind us. So she's walking, and then all of a sudden I'm sitting, I'm like putting my purse down, and I see the pilot with this like disgusted look on his face. Like he looks up like almost angry. It looks like he's looking at Hillary, but I don't know because there's like a lot of people. But he instantly was like, oh, no, I can't do it. Nope, she is not on the flight. Nope, she can't. Literally like throws his hands up in the air and walks back to the cockpit. I look at Nats, I'm like, did you just see that? She's like, yes, that was not okay. What's going on? Literally seconds later, he comes back out, stops the whole line of people. He's like, nope, I have to go see this girl. Walks down the aisle past us to Hillary, and I can hear him saying, she's not on this flight. She's not wearing that. Just to get up and leave right now. At this point, everyone is aware what's going on. Everyone's turning around being like, oh my God, what did she do? Why is he so upset? Meanwhile, me and Nats are like, what is wrong with this man? Like, what did she do? Like, she walked on with us. She's not doing anything. So literally, I'm like up on my seat. You know how you like sit on the school bus, like turned around with your knees up to talk to your friend? Literally, that's me, but I'm like looking back, I'm like, this is like a TV show happening right in front of me. So we see him pointing at her shirt and hear him say, she can't be wearing that shirt on my flight. This is unacceptable. She needs to leave. We need to get her kicked off the flight. And I'm looking at her shirt and there's a graphic literally this big on the front of her shirt. I'm like, he's gotta be kidding me. Like, what? So he walks off and I'm like looking at him, I'm like, what does your shirt say? Like, I can't even read it from over here. It's like little writing, so tiny. The graphic says, don't fucking talk to me. And instantly I'm like, oh yeah, that shirt, like you wear it all the time. It's whatever, it's casual. If anything, it gets a laugh now and then. Like it's like not a big deal. But what he saw was, it was literally this graphic on the back of her shirt, like this big, literally the whole back of it said the same thing. So clearly the pilot doesn't have a sense of humor or care for swearing, but I feel like his reaction was so over the top. Like it definitely didn't warrant the crime. If you can even call it a crime, like it's a fucking t-shirt, who cares? And as the pilot was up at the front, we were like looking around to like gauge everyone else's reaction, and everyone like just kind of turned around and like, you know, did their own thing. No one was like, oh my God, oh my God. But the 2 guys beside us were already starting to try it. They were like rolling their eyes, like on their computers, like, oh my God, this flight might be delayed now. I need to go home and feed my Yorkie. Just so fucking annoying. We see that the pilot is sitting at the front of the plane with his co-pilot, and they have this like big box of pizza, like full on, not just like eating a slice of pizza, they're full on like going in like college boys. And I was literally like not expecting to see something like that. Looking in the cockpit, I was like, what the fuck? And Nats looks at me and she's like, they're drunk. I was like, wait, you think, really? Like, I thought this man was just like maybe a little bit senile or crazy or something. She's like, no, they're drunk. Unless someone is like literally like falling over or like being really sloppy, like white girl wasted or whatever, or like slurring their words, then I'm like, okay, yeah, this bitch is drunk. If anything, I'll think like, oh, this person is crazy before I'm like, oh, they're wasted or they're whatever. But I really truly thought this man didn't like that word or was like triggered by it or something. Maybe like his wife was like, fuck you, don't fucking talk to me, get out. And ever since then, he like can't handle that sentence. So Hill has since taken her shirt off. Cause she's like, bitch, I'm not missing this flight. Like I have work in the morning. I'm not trying to get on another flight and have this be a whole other situation. So then it gets a little crazy. So we start talking with the stewardesses. We were like, do you guys think the pilot's being weird? Like, are we overreacting? And one of the women kneeled down next to us and she was like, I do think the pilot is being weird. I do. And she ended up telling us actually that when they were getting on the plane and setting up for everyone to arrive, he got her confused with the other stewardess because both of them were Asian. And he literally said verbatim, I can't ever tell your type apart. Nats and I were like, oh. That is literally all we needed to hear before we said something. I was like, I think he's drunk. She thinks he's drunk. He's acting like a crazy person and we really don't feel safe with him flying this 5.5 hour flight home when he's acted like this. And he's literally clearly trying to sober up by devouring the pizza at the front. So instantly she goes from like, you know, just talking to us to like, wait, if you really, really, really want to say that he's drunk, I need to file a report and we're going to have to basically tell everyone on the flight that there's going to be a delay. Or you guys can choose to get off the flight, which I know the pilot wants, and your friend can come with you. So me and Nats are like, why do we have to leave if this pilot is acting a fool? That does not make any sense. So we both agreed, we're like, no, we're not leaving the flight. She like sighs and she picks up her little mic and she's like, ladies and gentlemen, I'm really sorry to announce that this flight is delayed until further notice. Everyone in the front is like, oh, because they know that it's because of us, because this flight attendant has been kneeling, talking to us. And me and Nats are just like, fuck. We are fully hated. Meanwhile, it's like we're trying to save the lives of everyone on this plane. What if something were to happen? You know, this man is clearly out of his mind. One of the guys, you know, one of our two best friends beside us, picks up his phone. He's like, this flight has been delayed now. Oh, I want to kill myself. Just like going off. I'm like, bitch, if I didn't say anything, this plane would have crashed and you would be dead. So the pilot gets word that we like challenged him and he's pissed. And this is like where it was like so scary. And he comes back and he literally speaks to just Nats and I, and all the seats beside us are talking. And then the second he walks back, everyone shuts up. And he's like, do you guys have a problem with me? And I was gagged that he even came back and talked to us. I hate confrontation. I'm like so not the person to like get in like a loud verbal fight. Nats loves it. So Nats is like, yes, we did say something. And he's like, well, what? What's the problem? And Nats was like, I think that you're intoxicated and I don't feel safe with you flying our plane. Without a beat, literally right away, he's like, oh my God, oh, and like storms away. My heart's like beating out of my chest. I'm like, this is like not cute. My biggest fear is like, what if this guy isn't drunk? We just created this huge problem. Literally everyone hates us. We are gonna look so stupid if this man isn't drunk. So 30 minutes goes by and the stewardess comes up to us and she kneels down and she's like, so the pilot's been changed. He got a breathalyzer test and it turns out that he was intoxicated and we all want to say thank you. I look like past her, all of the stewardesses, like the three of them are lined up there and literally they're like, I literally reached over and grabbed Nats' knee. I'm like, we're heroes. And dumb and dumbass over here are like, oh my God, yeah, thank you guys so much for what you did. Like, oh, bitch, not the hour of you rolling your eyes at us. Like, get real. So basically that's the time that Nats and I single-handedly saved hundreds of lives on our Boeing 750. No, but for real, I'm very, very happy that we said something when we saw it. I think a lot of the time we see something, whether it's someone being bullied or something wrong, and we just choose not to say anything because of conflict or confrontation. But I'm really happy that that day me and Nats decided to say something because who knows what could have happened. That man is absolutely out of his mind. I hope he got his license taken away because the proof was right there. He got breathalyzed. We were told this. Be aware of your surroundings. And yeah, that was my drunk pilot story. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this story time video. And until I see you guys next time, stay gorgeous.